Ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing turnout today.
Why did you do the CEO Sleepout this year? And what made you decide to do it again next year?
I'll cry again. Back in 1998, I was an economics teacher at a school called Gregory Terrace, and I asked a student, his name was Robbie Gunderlach, and he's now become one of my really close mates, actually. I was a young teacher then, so it's not weird. And Robbie was a really typical kid, typical star, first 15, first 8 rowing, A student, handsome, smart, prefect, all that. He had ticked the boxes. So he was a real leader in the classroom. And I asked the economics class, put your hand up, why there's so much homelessness and street kids living around Brisbane? And he shot his hand up. He was grade 11 at the time. And he said, it's because they're lazy. And if they really wanted to get off the streets, those homeless people they worked harder. So I asked everyone in the class, who agrees with Robbie? 100%, every hand shot up. And the role of a teacher is not to say to a kid they're wrong. The role of a teacher is to exercise and challenge their thinking for them to arrive at more of a mature, educated answer. And so from that moment onwards, I became really passionate about getting the kids at Terrace to understand the poverty that existed on their doorsteps, to not look at it from a helicopter view, but actually become at the same level with them and start listening to their stories. So we started up programs. We started what's called the Street Retreat program, the Eddie's van, the Paddy's van. And that's I'm really proud of those programs. They're still going to this day, and it's all about interaction with adults and students right across Queensland who are now meet not to serve the homeless, but to be with the homeless and to listen to them. The Orange Sky Laundry came out of that. All these wonderful products came out of those initial question from Robbie Gunderlach. In that time, I met a guy called Terry, and Terry really challenged the way I look at humanity and look at the way I interact with people as I walk through the city. So Terry, when I first met him, this will take 2 minutes, he was really repulsive. When I first met him, he hadn't had a shower reportedly for about 3 years. He hadn't had a shave around that time. He didn't throw much out, so if he had food, fruit, chicken, whatever it was, he'd hold in plastic bags and around his arms, around his legs, over his shoulders, and it added to this incredibly pungent aroma that he was rotting. So when he would turn up to a van, which was a van of hospitality, even the homeless would throw water on him. None of the homeless wanted him. And I must admit, when I first met him, I'd give him a coffee, and he was quite manic. He would come in and start demanding things. He had a sort of a starter, a manic, and he'd say, I need a coffee now. Give me a coffee now. I want a coffee. Come on, motherfucker, give me a coffee. Come here. Here you go, Terry. And off to the side. I will cut the story short, but I decided with a couple of the other students, and Gundy was one of them, and Charlie Scott another, that our challenge really shouldn't be about easing him off to the side to get the smell away. If we were going to talk about hospitality, we were going to talk about respect and authentic mission and purpose, we needed to really challenge ourselves and sit down with that guy. So over the months, I started building a relationship with Terry, and the first night I really talked to him, which set the scene for a relationship, was Terry was totally surprised. He threw water on me the first time I went and spoke to him, threw me a hot coffee, scalded my leg. And instead of running away, I thought I just stayed. And he said, what do you want? And I said, oh, mate, I just want to sit here and talk. And he was so surprised. For that 2 hours that we were there, I reckon I got in less than 20 words. And he just talked at me. And I realised I was with a bit of a genius. Remember there was that SGI building that used to have the flashing, we used to do the weather in Brisbane. And he'd go, oh, look, it's flashing up there, it's flashing. This is how we talk, this flashing means it's going to be a wet night tonight. See, that car that just went past that Red Joe, SGA 5222, that car 3 weeks ago, they beat their horn at me, they're arseholes. That car there, that car has got an incredible engine, it's a 2.2 litre engine. How does he know all this? And I was blown away with him. So over months, we started getting to it, and then getting to the point, he decided to trust me one night. And he started telling me the story, once again, of another car. I thought I was having a breakthrough moment. He was just talking to me about another car, about the litres, the engine capacity. He goes, no, I was in my own car. And I can immediately challenge my stereotype of, Terry actually once owned a car. I always thought he was a homeless bum, homeless, a street person. And he said, I was in my car, and I was going up the off ramp, and I was going the wrong way. It was the wrong way. It was terrible. There was another car coming towards me. The way he described it, he made a mistake on a freeway. He was going up the wrong way, and the car was coming, and then a car was coming in, and nothing he could do, and it jackknifed. It came into him, and the steering wheel jackknifed straight into him. He goes, the pain, Anthony, the pain. And then I realised he's now in a catatonic moment, and he's in the car, and he's telling me in King George Square what happened to him. He talked about the fact that his hands were sticking down, but his bones were sticking out that way. So complete smashed compound fractures of his arms. And I thought that was it. I said, there's nothing you could do, Terry, that's okay. And I thought this was his moment, though he might be on the streets. And he goes, my daughter. So going from homeless man, didn't even know he had a car, all of a sudden had a car. And I said, what about your daughter, Terry? She's dead, I've killed her. And he started realising, and I started, this poor broken man. And I thought, so I started consoling him about that, and he didn't even know I was there at this stage. He's in the moment. And he's having a sort of a mini psychosis in the middle of King George Square. And then he said, my son, look, and so he started explaining, his son was still alive. And he's looking at his son in the rear vision mirror. And he starts talking about the fact that he's trying to rip his arms off, pinned into this car. And he couldn't do it. He couldn't handle the pain. He couldn't face and didn't have enough courage to pull his arms off. So he then took me through the conversation that he had with his son while his son's bled out and died while he was pinned. So his decision, that Terry that I met on the streets of Brisbane, was I could take my life, but that's easy. I'm actually going to not shower. I'm actually going to repulse myself and repulse others for the rest of my life. And that's the hell that I want to create for myself. So then everyone on that van, sorry for crying, everyone on that van took it upon themselves to start healing him. And it's not a resurrection story. We didn't heal him. Slowly, plastic bags came off his one arm, but then we realised that's why he had the plastic bags on his arms. He didn't want to wake up every morning and look at the scars and go, oh, that's right, I killed my son and my daughter. So he's living this nightmare. So Beta, going back to heart, our job is to create incredible economic moments for this city and to drive this city to be the best, one of the most incredible contemporary cities in the next 20 years. But when we do that, the purpose that drives my staff, like Tamelza here, is that we believe that when we do that, we actually can start impacting the poverty that exists on our doorstep, and we actually can start creating a more humane community. So that's why the CEO Sleepout, that Andre and Matt and Mel and so many other people in this room do, I'm so passionate about. Because it's about creating opportunities for us to break down stereotypes and actually start really understanding the real reason for people being homeless, rather than grab your wallet and bag and walk past them as quick as you can.
Matt did warn me, don't get him to tell that story. He's going to be a killer.
Can I just finish off on that?
I was just going to say there is a happy ending. Come on.
There is a happy ending. So I told that story at an event like this that got filmed. Mel Poole is this incredible international director. She's taken on the story. She's created it into a short film that's been shot on the streets of Brisbane. We only finished it about a month and a half ago. And we're into it. I haven't seen it yet. She's editing it. I can't wait to see it. It tells Terry's story, but it's going to be called Charlie. We're trying to protect his story as much as possible, his privacy. He's passed away, Terry. But that film will be entered into Cannes Movie Festival next year.
I heard this quote recently. In a wealthy country like Australia, no one should live without a home. I'd like to find anybody who would disagree with that statement. Thank you so much for giving of your time. I'm glad I started the lunch the way I did in terms of saying we all should be giving. You've done that in abundance. Thank you so much. We've got so much to be proud of here in Brisbane, and I think today we've discovered one more thing to be proud of, and that is this man over here. Can we give him another round of applause, please? Thank you. Now, you stay where you are. Before you leave, we've got a little gift to say thank you. I'll hand over to Jonathan as well.
Thank you so much, Anthony. That was fantastic. That was really good. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause.